Take me to the lake!
Oh, what a beautiful day for a lake afternoon.
It's a great day to talk about Indiana lake life living.
Tips, techniques, and technology is what we're going to talk about today.
Hey, JR, what do you like to do at the lake?
Always, one of my favorite things to do at the lake is get out to some of the new golf courses that I don't get to see in Fort Wayne.
Now, is that real golf or miniature golf, JR?
I think I can only play putt-putt with you, right?
Well, I love at the lake. My friends are here, my family's here, so that gives me a great opportunity to take a lot of pictures.
Lake life is family life, and that's why I get the grill out. I want to get a little cornhole going, spend time with family.
You know, one of my favorite things about the lake, very little cell phone reception. I can put the cell phone away, grab a book, sit by the lake, and just read all afternoon.
I don't know about you guys, but you see that guy down there? He's been sitting there for a long, long time. He's fishing. That's what I want to do, catch some fish.
Hey guys, we got about 3 hours. Okay? Taylor, he's gonna go jet skiing. We're gonna take him. He wants smooth water. Okay, jump in.
3 hours, guys. Let's experience it, man. Let's experience it.
3
I know I
hours?
can at least get around to golfing.
Let's do this.
All right, let's live the lake life.
See you in a while, guys. See ya.
How long you been out here? What kind of bait are you using?
Welcome to Between the Studs. We are Granite Ridge Builders, custom builders serving northern Indiana, northwest Ohio, and also parts of southern Michigan. We have been building custom homes for almost 2 decades, and we're really passionate about what we do. So join us today as we explore the processes, the trends, and also tips that characterize today's new home. Thanks for watching.
Man, I love cornhole. I just wish the hole was a little bit bigger. Okay, Izzy, it's your turn.
Ever. It's one of those. Whoa! Hello.
Man, you hit the retaining wall. Oh, that's a lot better. Oh yeah, that's good.
You know he's supposed to be more than 5 feet away, right?
Oh, crying out.
What kind of rules do you guys play by?
Always warms up. That's the lake. You got to.
Okay, guys, we've had 3 hours of lake life living. Is this not one of the better shows we've ever done?
I've enjoyed all 3
Oh, Lonnie, would you go ahead and open up for us?
Hey, welcome to Between the Studs. I'm Lonnie, and this is part of the Granite Ridge Builders team, including Tony Ranke, our president. We build custom homes, northern Indiana, northwest Ohio, and also parts of southern Michigan. We love sharing with you our jobs, our occupations, what we're doing in a lot of different places these days as business is very, very good. Today's going to be a neat show.
I think this will be one of the most fun shows, at least for us. I think the audience is going to love this too. What we're going to talk today about is lake life living in Indiana. Now, there's 3 topics we're going to try to hit today. We're going to talk about some of the tips, building and remodeling, some of the techniques, and that'll be the interior of what we're doing, and also some of the technology that people might want to consider if you are building and or remodeling. So, we're also going to talk about some outdoor living, and we're going to talk a little bit about some construction ideas too. So, what do you guys think we like to talk about then from your end?
Well, guys, I would like to get out on the boat and maybe check out some of these lake lots. Anytime you're building out on a lake, there's some extra, some would call them challenges, we like to call them opportunities, but you got to pay attention to the flood protection grade, the drainage, maybe some retaining walls to really maximize what the lot gives you.
As some of you might remember, we did a shoot at this particular lake home a couple months ago, and it is now finished for you to see the final product. This here behind us was just a retaining wall before, and you can see we faced it with stone. There's so many other features to this home that you might want to consider for your lake home.
One of my favorite parts about this show today is going to be the technology of it, showing how we can do some really unique things because it is a lake house, and you have some really unique challenges, and how we can do it all right here on the iPhone.
So stay tuned. I think you're going to love this segment. Let's all pick our fun parts and pieces and get some tips. All right.
Can I have one more hour?
I'm going to go inside.
This dude never wants to stop lounging.
I'm just going to hang out for one more hour. Lake life living at its best right here.
You're right. When it comes to lake life living, one word spells it all. F-I-S-H-I-N-G.
fishing.
That's right. That's right.
You know, and we are blessed around here. Like in Steuben County, there are over 101 lakes available for people to get onto, and with over 500 lakes in northeast Indiana.
This particular lake, Lake Hamilton, is over 808 acres. I think about 880 acres.
Now, what kind of fish are you really going after when you're out here in Hamilton?
They've got panfish. We're talking sunfish and bluegill and crappie. We've got smallmouth. We've got largemouth. We also, in this particular lake, have northern pike.
You know, a lot of my friends enjoy a lot of the fishing tournaments around the area where they go out there, and, you know, they've got some nice boats.
It's all about the boat. I'm talking over 200 horsepower to get to those special places.
You know, the nice thing about here is you have a lot of lakes that actually connect to one another.
You're right. You're right.
You know, I got one.
Oh man, we've got one for the aquarium.
Luke, we're here talking about at Lake Life. We're talking about tips, techniques, and one of my favorite things, technology. We're pretty famous for our next step, our innovation home located off of Flutter Road, and we're going to take some of those parts and pieces and integrate them into this lake home that we're standing in right now.
Yeah, absolutely. When I think about lake home, I think about relaxing and then also peace of mind. So let's kind of focus on that relaxing part of the technology. What are some things that we've done in this house here to promote that?
So anytime at the lake, we're really going to focus on the views. So anytime we're looking at these homes, there's always an abundant amount of glass, which is great when you want those views coming in. But obviously as sun hits in different times of the day, it's hard to block out that sunshine and keep the interior of the house cool. So we've integrated some remote blinds to be able, from an iPad, from a phone, or even set on timers, get those blinds down in some of those high, hard to reach areas like those really tall transom windows above.
Yeah, now you mentioned sometimes it gets warm in here. We actually install on all of our Granite Ridge homes a Wi-Fi ready thermostat, which comes with an app that allows you to, anywhere you have your phone or your iPad, to adjust the temperature up and down. You can also set settings for it to, maybe on like a lake, maybe you want it to start cooling down Friday afternoon. By the time you arrive, the house is already cooled down, but during the week you don't need to spend the money to cool it as much. And this isn't just for lake lives, this is for maybe a villa buyer, maybe somebody that likes to travel a lot, or just your personal home.
Absolutely. There's a couple other things that we've done in this house. One is integrating wireless technology for our sound systems and for our televisions. I know if it's anything like you, I can't ever find the remotes in my house. My kids tuck them under the cushions, but I always know where my iPad's at. So as soon as we pull up to the lake, we can pull up Sonos, turn on the music station that we want, get the televisions on to the channels that we need. So as we walk in the front door, the house is relaxing, inviting, and ready for us the moment we walk in the door.
Yeah, another one that I want to focus on is what we call like remote access. You can achieve that by a few different ways. Either having a Wi-Fi garage door opener, so you can open up the garage door. Let's say your friends or family get to the lake before you arrive there. You can grant them access, or we can do it through a Z-Wave front door lock. The other part, which a lot of people don't think about, is when you're on the lake side, a lot of people come, they get here, you're expecting guests, but you like to keep those doors on the roadside locked because you're spending all that time on the lakeside. Again, if you're down enjoying the outdoors, you can actually let them in through that, so that way they don't have to walk around the grass, they can unload the food or whatever. And another thing that we're starting to see is they're actually putting a sensor out by the front of the drive, so when a car goes by that, you can hear that sensor when you're out by the lakeside.
Absolutely, and that's just a couple of reasons that we can make this house relaxing and comfortable. Let's go outside and talk about some things that'll really give people peace of mind about their lake home. Let's go.
At the lake, you spend a lot of time outside, but you definitely can't ignore all of the design features on the interior of the lake home.
And I love this particular home because, of course, it's very open, which is what most people like. But we have a cathedral ceiling running through the great room, the kitchen, and the nook. But we've done something different with the ceiling. We've taken our rear walls and we've done some kind of like a shed gable or a shed dormer with some transom windows. So it really adds a lot to the room.
Now with all of those windows, you definitely want to consider how to put blinds on them. For a lake home, you usually put the blinds away when you're leaving for the week and you don't want to fade your furniture or anything like that. So a smart idea for a lake home is to definitely think about using motorized blinds.
Another idea for your windows is you could do tinted windows too, which would help with the sunlight as well in the room.
And Anderson has a tinted window where you can't even tell that it is tinted from the outside, and you could do it just on the lakeside and regular on the rest of the house.
Now one beautiful beautiful design element in this space is the open gable strut, I would call it. And once again, you've done that beautiful finish on it, so it really brings the outdoors in once again.
We did. It's really important when you have this tall of a ceiling to bring it in and still make it a little bit more homey so it doesn't feel too open and airy. You want that style, but you don't necessarily want that feel that it's kind of escaping. So we brought it down with a wonderful truss system.
And we also continued the stone accent walls in this area as well. So we've done it in the lower level, the main area, we have it outside, so it really ties everything together.
Now we've had a main focus on the woodwork and the stone, like Elizabeth was saying, where we did a lot of wainscoting in here with a darker wall color, so that way it brightened up this space with the high trim, and we incorporated that in the pedestal bases as well, and the kitchen is to die for here.
Look how clear this water is, man.
Oh, it
Hey,
is beautiful up
they-
here.
no, no,
I love it up
They
here.
are biting. They are.
Good.
Yeah. Hey, wow, what a bobber you've got. I've never seen one that pretty.
Well, it's not a bobber.
Ooh, it's going down.
Can you still see it?
What is that?
I
Yeah,
get-
this is actually called a Secchi disc, guys. This is actually how they monitor how clear the lakes are around our region.
Ah, how's it work?
The way it works is you lower it down, there's little black spots on the string, you count how many there are,
Okay.
until you can't see that alternating white and black disc that I just lowered in.
All right.
And then once you do that, you mark it, maybe let's say it's 20 feet, you mark it at 20 feet, then you lower it to about 25 feet, and then you raise it up until you can see it again, and then you mark that distance again. So they
Okay.
do this a couple times a year. They actually do it throughout the year, and then they do it morning, evening, afternoon, and then that's how they report that back to the DNR, and then that judges how clear the lake water is. And this is actually how maybe they monitor if there's any runoff issues that maybe they need to address sooner than later. So it's actually a pretty basic system, but it tells a lot about the health of the lake.
So how clear are we here at Hamilton?
About 12 feet.
Okay.
Just a few months ago, we stood in this home and it was really a blank slate. It had just been drywalled. We had all of our samples. We were trying to choose our countertops, our cabinets, even the guys were trying to help us with the stone selection. So it's come a long ways.
It has. The transformation is gorgeous. I think that the finished product turned out wonderful. We have a Grable cabinet. It's a maple stain, and it really enhances this area because we have a lot of white woodwork. So we did a darker cabinet to really incorporate all of the different colors in the space. And what I love here is the range hood accent, where it's a softer with that curve, but a little bit of trim. And the backsplash is a limestone marble mix that really makes a statement.
I love the island in this home. It's a double deep island with a breakfast bar, and we've done that honed granite again in this space. So great area to entertain and lay out all of your food for the guests.
It is, and especially when you have these large islands and you're going to be moving these bar stools around a lot to do your entertaining, you might want to think about adding some accent underneath the breakfast bar, whether that be doors to access your storage or applied moldings, or you could even do a lit glass underneath there, and it really draws attention to the space.
Lighting is very important in the home, whether it be your home or your home away from home like the lake. So in this home, we've done a lot of can lighting, a lot of chandeliers, pendants, even under cabinet lighting.
You don't necessarily want all of the lights on in the house to be distracting when you're out there. So doing the layered lighting to create more ambiance is really the way to think about at your lake house.
In many lake homes, you do find a lower level. Because of the topography with the ground and the water, it's very common to have a lower level like this.
It is. There are some extra opportunities in designing lower levels that we really work very hard with the designers, draftspeople, and contractors on every one of our homes to make the most of the spaces. So in this one here, we had some soffits that we needed to work around and incorporate into the design. I think we did a really great job incorporating it into the cabinets as well as the fireplace area, accenting it with trim, making it look more like a tray ceiling as a detail instead of this bulky soffit. You don't even notice it, but it makes the space a lot cozier. We even have over here a beam incorporated with pedestals because in a lot of lower levels you want a large span, so we need some beams or some post work done, and if you don't want to just random post in the middle of your lower level, you can accent it and make it a decorative one.
And in this particular lower level, I love what's been used in it because it's a lot of natural elements. So you have the lake, and we've kind of brought it in here with the stone. We have a beautiful stone accent wall, stone surround around the fireplace. I love the texture or the stain that you've done on the trim because it kind of brings the outdoors in, and you did something special with that.
We did. So we did a multi-coat glaze that has a couple different textures and finishes on it to really make a great pop. And like Elizabeth said, we have a lot of different sort of styles that really brings the natural elements in. The wood species we used was knotty poplar, so that way we have a little bit more of that rustic nature with the knots in the wood, but we can do a really smooth stain on everything, which really accents all of the stone very well.
And in this lower level, of course, we have kind of a living area or gathering area, which is really important because it's easy access to the lake. But another consideration is a second kitchen. So we have a full kitchen down here, which is great for bringing everything down to the water side. And you've brought in some natural elements into this kitchen as well with the granite countertop.
We did. So the granite has the leathered texture finish, and it's a great way to set this space apart, but to also incorporate the same kind of designs in the other parts of the house. So in this one here, the upper level is a little more modern and contemporary sort of a look, and down here we have more natural and earthy sort of tones going on. When you do different colors in your countertops, you can still keep everything very cohesive by having the same kind of texture to the granite, which is that leathered, more natural finish.
And then really, I love the final touches on this space. So not only is it, you know, the stone, the flooring, the walls, it's the decorative items. So a lot of the lakey decorative items, Choice Designs did a great job staging this home.
You know, Luke, the subject today is lake life living in Indiana. And we're sitting here on a I'd call it a patio, but we're sitting under a very unique product as it relates to lakes.
Yeah, so above our head here is actually a deck, and we've created something here that anytime it rains under a deck, typically you're going to get rainwater that runs through here.
Sure are.
It happens. But we put this deck drain in, which collects all that rainwater, runs out to a gutter there, and then takes that away. So this space is actually usable no matter what the temperature is outside or what it's doing out there.
So I call this a ceiling, and it's a vinyl product.
Yep.
It's sloped a little bit down to the gutter.
Yep, it runs to the gutter, and we've essentially created a covered porch. You could maybe put some screens out there, creating a screen-in porch, so to protect you from bugs as well.
It's a beautiful finish. We've got ceiling fans out here that you can use, and I really like this. How much does it cost?
About $10 a square foot. We're starting to see this product become very popular, especially up here around the lakes.
Oh, that's great.
Nope, this sounds like thunder, but you know what? We're going to be comfortable here, Lonnie.
What was that?
What says lake life living any more than trying to cram as many kids or family members in the space as possible, whether they're sleeping on the floor or outside.
That's right. And we have a great solution. One thing to plan ahead when you're building your lake home is do large bedrooms. So a lot of people, you're going to have a lot of company, but you don't want 5 or 6 bedrooms because it's just not that practical. So if you do 3 large bedrooms, like this one, for example, is great because this one is set up as a big bedroom and we can actually sleep 8 people in here.
We can sleep 8 with the option of even sleeping 10 with these trundles that pull out underneath. So bunk beds are a great lake life solution for your sleeping needs.
Kayla, one of my favorite things about lake life living actually happens when we start building the fires outside. You have the stars in the sky, fires going. It's wonderful.
I have to say, I don't know if there is a cottage that I've been to that doesn't have some sort of fire table, stationary fire pit, portable fire pit, fireplace. That is really a huge part of lake living.
Now, when you're looking at the fire pits and the fireplaces, there's a lot of things you need to keep in mind, though, isn't there?
There are a lot of things to keep in mind. You can make it as low or high maintenance as you want the product to be. So what's great about this fire pit here is you can actually run a gas line to it still, so that way you don't have to worry about starting the fire every time and it being a big mess. You could put gas logs in it if you'd like, or you can go all natural and just be able to start your own fire with real wood. There's a lot of different options.
I have been seeing more and more people doing the big fireplaces, but they need to be careful with those, don't they?
They do. So there are some different codes and restrictions depending on the outdoor firebox unit. If you do a wood burning or a gas unit, depending on how far you can get to that house, because they don't want anything to burn the siding if you get too close. So there are some requirements there, but you can put those fireplaces on decks, on patios, wherever you want. Just make sure you have a stable footer to put that on.
The other thing you want to make sure of also with those fireplaces is that they don't block your view. Because if you can think it may be perfect, the next thing you know, it might block your lake view or block your sunset.
Definitely, you don't want to do that, but there are so many really great options for colors and styles to really enhance your lake-like living.
Now, if you want to get a good idea of a nice lake life fireplace, take a look at this.
And here we have the finishing touches.
It looks great.
It does. You know, this outdoor living, we really have to talk about staging and all the furniture options there are out there.
It is really important. And the great thing about outdoor living now is furniture has come a long way. So this is very comfortable furniture. It's very easy to take care of.
It's lightweight, so when you're moving it around a lot from space to space or from season to season, it's really something that's not going to be a backbreaker to get in and out.
And you want to figure out what is best for the space. So for example, we have a dining table here. It's right off the kitchen, so it's great to sit out here and eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, easy to get back to your kitchen sink.
You know, an indoor-outdoor rug is one of the prime things you need to have in your outdoor living space to really bring the indoors out in this case, and it really helps soften the space and provides a little bit more accent. And we love the cushions. When you're looking about cushions, you really need to look at the Sunbrella fabrics where it's rated, it doesn't fade near as easily.
And then don't forget your accent pieces. You could do candles, which you could light at night. Beautiful things for on the table. We have some natural elements with the plants. And then there's a lot of neat place settings or plates that are indoor, outdoor. So if you drop them, it's okay.
It's perfect, and we really took advantage of this space with the fireplace and grill. It's perfect for a cookout, and it's awesome for your next lake home.
We better go get the food.
All right, let's go get it. I think we're ready.
When we're talking about life at the lake, for most folks, it's a pretty large investment, and a lot of times it's a space you're not spending all of your time in. So you want to make sure that as you're away from the home, it feels safe and secure. So part of technology is giving people a really nice peace of mind that the home and their investment is safe and it's secure at all times.
Yeah, one of the biggest things that you're starting to see on lake places are cameras. And most people, I think, associate cameras with the inside. But lake places, it's just as important for the outside. You can get cameras now that give you alerts when it notices motion. Let's say there's a large storm that rolls through. You can look at the camera, you can look at your shoreline, make sure your boats are okay. You can look at the interior to make sure everything's okay there. Again, it gives you that peace of mind, not having to run up, 40 minutes to the lake place to check on things. You just hop on your phone, your computer, check out, everything's okay, you're good to go.
And another thing of peace of mind is when we do new construction, we install the folks' yard for them. Getting that yard to come up and look nice and green, we've got to water that yard. So if you're not living here, it's hard to come up and make sure you're turning on sprinklers. So we can use remote irrigation, control it right from our iPad, set it on timers, and the yard can be watered and ready for us to pop up with no maintenance on our part.
Yeah, and kind of to piggyback that water, you're not living here 24/7, so a lot of people actually shut the water off when they leave. There is such things now as automatic water shut-offs with your phone, iPad, any computer, anywhere you have internet, you can actually log on and turn that water off. Let's say you take off for the weekend, you forgot to turn it off. Again, giving you that peace of mind that if a pipe or anything were to break, heaven forbid, you've actually shut it off now, so it's not going to create thousands of dollars worth of damage, maybe just a few hundred.
These are just a few small ways that people can incorporate technology into their lake places to give them peace of mind and a really relaxing life at the lake.
Yeah. Now, one thing that doesn't really have to do with technology, but I have to point it out, is this glass railing behind us. I absolutely love it, especially up on here on the lakes. You spend so much money with your windows trying to maximize the view. Well, if you put wood spindles in, that could block up to 30% of your view. This doesn't block any.
Absolutely. It's a nice touch. Did you hear the door?
I think that was the driveway chime.
I don't want to check on him, do you?
Nope, just
use the iPad. Let's just see who's here that way.
Yeah, it's just Tony.
Yeah, he'll find his way in. Let's enjoy the view.
Well, Kayla, just a few months ago, this home was kind of a blank slate. We just had drywall, and now look at it. It's absolutely gorgeous. But you have the opportunity. We have a home right across the water that is for sale. So it looks like what this did a few months ago. Just imagine the possibilities in a few months. It's $349,900. It's a ranch. It has a walkout lower level.
I think they're working on the landscaping now. They're working on the finished flooring inside, so it's going to transform very quickly here for you to be able to buy.
Give us a call. Call our office, area code 260-490-1417. visit our website or walk in the door, we would love to show you that home, or we could build a lake home for you on your own lake lot.
Elizabeth, nothing beats a better lake day than coming in, having a great cookout with this wonderful table setting and a bonfire to end the night.
You know, I just love the pace at the lake. It's calming. We just have fun. We have a good time out on the water. We have a good time playing games. Nothing beats the lake.
Yeah,
true.
I love the active lifestyle. I mean, I grew up on a lake. I had that blessing. I learned how to ski, tube, and now Kayla and I are trying to teach our kids those same things.
You know, speaking of lake life, I grew up at Lake George my whole life. We were on a ski team. We used to do the pyramids. We used to do it all, and I'll tell you, it is probably the best memories I've ever had. I think lake life memories is probably the best.
They're so neat. I remember fishing with my granddad, then fishing with my dad. Now I'm fishing with my grandkids.
And how big?
Oh man, I'm talking about whoppers.
That's memory for you.
Bonnie, I remember growing up and going to the lake with my grandma and my dad and then hitting the links as I was learning how to play golf. And now being able to take Elijah and play golf at the lake is a pretty cool memory for me too.
Well, these memories are amazing, and we hope that you all have some memories and maybe even spark some memories. And why don't you try to think about creating some new memories this season at Lake Life Living? Would you close for us?
As always, guys, we want to thank you for spending part of your day with us. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about who we are, what we do, and why we do what we do so well, please just pick up the phone, give us a call, visit the website below. Even better yet, come in the front door. Let us help you this year build that perfect lake place to create new memories for you and your family.
You know, guys, there's still a little sunshine left. We can all have some more fun yet this afternoon.
Perfect.
Fishing. Hey, Luke, you know, I'll show you how the 60-year-old
Yeah,
ski
I wanna see
and
this
how
pyramid.
we do pyramids.
I want to go do some.
There's nothing better than
let's
36 holes in one day. Let's go do that.
Let's take a little tour of Hamilton Lake right now, and we'll start with showing these two homes that show a lot of different window styles. We're really trying to bring that $1 million view in with these. Also multi-tiered decks, so if you have a lot of topography changes on your land, you can easily get down to the lakeside and onto that white sandy beach. Looking around Hamilton Lake more, here's a modern style that you have. You can really go with any architectural style when you are lake life living. You can also go with any size of budget, whether you're looking $1 million or you're looking at a nice little 3-bedroom cottage. The important part is that you're really living on the lake and you have access to that beautiful water. Here's a great example of using stone on the outside and making some nice stairs to go down to your pier. And this is a great example of using doors lakeside to store all of your lake equipment. So if you're thinking about living up on the lake and building your new place, go to graniteridgebuilders.com or give us a call.
Better than this. And guys, what a wonderful day to talk about Indiana lake life living.
Tips, ticks.
Oh,
Oh!
we gotta start over.
Way to go, Rodriguez!
You know, Tony, when it comes to fishing, what it's all about the boat. All about the boat, about the boat, about the, you know that song?
To really maximize what the lot gives you.
I will. I just don't know who. Okay, it's me.
You know, guys, there's still a little sunshine left. I think let's take a little bit more fun than let's just maybe do. And I don't know what we're. Maybe we'll
What's
just
he trying to
do-
say?
I didn't. I'm trying. Yeah. What was I trying to say?
What's in this?
How much does it cost?
About $10 a square foot. We're starting to see this product become very popular, especially up here around the lakes.
Oh, that's great.
Nope, it sounds like thunder, but you know what? We're gonna be comfortable here, Lonnie.
What was it? I didn't catch it. That was. You can cut me off.